Hey, welcome to At the Track Live. I am Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Even if you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about physics, about aerodynamics, about energy, about force, about Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, about elastic energy, about drag, about lift, a whole range of things. After I've taught them the science, then I bring in about 400 or so Hot Wheels cars, and each student gets to pick a Hot Wheels car that they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything that they've just learned about aerodynamics and physics and energy and force, etc. And what happens is the students set up a 20-foot drag racing Hot Wheels track, with 20 feet being the equivalent of about a 1/64th scale quarter-mile track. So we have quarter-mile drag races, and then we have a tournament, and the students can see how well their car performed or how well it didn't perform, and then they can analyze the results of the races. At the Track Live is a little different. What happens is, it's hot in here. Got a lot of lights, got a fan on, but I'm trying not to turn it up so that it doesn't interfere with the sound. So I'm excited and might start dripping with sweat and excitement, but let's not worry about that. Anyway, what happens is before I can bring the Hot Wheels cars in for the students to use, I have to catalog all of the cars. So I have to take pictures of the cars, I have to take a video, and then I have to number them and enter them into a spreadsheet so that I know which cars are with which students or at which schools, and I can keep track of those. And when the whole project is done, I can put them back in place, and that's that. But before I can take the cars to the students, I have to do all of those things. And in previous years, when I've done it, I've just kind of sat around and taken the pictures and put something on Netflix or YouTube and just sat there and taken the pictures, entered the cars into the spreadsheet, and that's how it went. But a few months ago, I got an idea of, what if I turn something that I have to do into something that's actually fun to do? And that's how I came up with At the Track Live. So what happens here is I have hundreds of Hot Wheels cars that I've purchased that are sitting in crates, just waiting to be opened and entered into the spreadsheet so that then they can be a part of the All About Aerodynamics fleet or garage or group of cars. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some of those cars, go into the crates, pull out some of those cars, crack those open. We're going to take a look at those here, do a little quick review, see, what we like, what we don't like, what I don't like. And then I'm going to take that car, put it on the track, and then we're going to race them. But the interactive part is this, that we have set up a website, and that is atthetrack.live. And if you go to atthetrack.live, you will have 2 options, or 3 options really. There is the Twitch link, the YouTube link, which you don't need because you're already here watching this. And then there's also an option that says choose a car. Now, if you select choose a car, it will take you to this page on our website that has all of the cars listed and numbered. So this is what I was talking about when I have to catalog the cars. So we have now, as of the past few episodes of At the Track Live, there are about 468, 67, how many? scroll all the way down to the bottom. 468, with Ariel, the Little Mermaid car, being the 468th car entered in. And that car raced in our last episode, which you can take a look at. The archive is on, or the videos on demand are on YouTube. Twitch only keeps them up there for about 7 days. So if you want to go back and see some of the other episodes, how some of the other cars fared, then you should go to our YouTube channel and take a look. We started with, in the first At the Track Live episode, number 451, this Muscle and Blown car, which it made it down the track with no problems. It wasn't particularly fast, it wasn't particularly slow, just kind of one of those cars that's in the middle, which is a lot of the cars. But then this was the car that stole the spotlight. It was this 57 Plymouth Fury, and it kept crashing. And in the next episode, we investigated why it kept crashing. Turns out it has to do with these unique bumpers that the car has that wrap around the exterior, and also in the back it has bumpers that wrap all the way around. So that caused a bit of a problem, and went back and figured out why that was. Then we also had a whole series with this 84 Pontiac Firebird, which was actually created in, this particular version is from 2019. But I had another version that I had when I was a kid from the actual 80s, and I wanted to race those two cars. Turns out the car from the 80s kept crashing, had to figure out why. So then in the second or third episode of At the Track Live, one of the things I did was investigate why that older Firebird kept crashing, made a little modification, fixed it, took it back out to the track, and had different results. So there's that. This Black Panther character car, this had an issue because it kept crashing, but it turns out it had nothing to do with the car. It's just that this car was so tall that the tripods that I have to holding the cameras above the track weren't tall enough, and the top of the Black Panther's head was hitting the tripod, causing the car to crash. So once I made that adjustment, the car was able to make it down the track no problem. We had this Jeep Gladiator that surprised me because it didn't need any extra support above it to keep it on the track, and I'll get more into what that support is and why it's there later. What else? We had the Subaru WRX. That was pretty fast. We had this X-Steam. This was a car that I was particularly disappointed with because it only had, I mean, there's nothing above it. It's pretty much just a flat slab. And I thought that would work in its favor to reduce the drag and make this car pretty fast. But it turns out it wasn't really that fast. And it was beaten in its races. But I don't remember if it went up against this car, this Evil Twin, which is a nice looking car. And I mentioned that I really like the paint, and you can see these kind of metal flakes. And Hot Wheels, in certain special cars, they have this Spectra Flame paint, which sort of distinguishes these unique treasure hunt, super treasure hunt cars from the ordinary cars that you just buy in the store. This is an older car, so this might just be straight metallic paint. I mean, it's definitely metallic. I don't know what the definitions and strict technical requirements are for Spectra Flame versus metal flake metallic paint. I'll have to look that up and get back to you. But regardless, I really like this car. This was one that I picked up at a collector's shop for about 20 years old. I don't know why I don't have to speculate. I have the spreadsheet right here. So yeah, this car is from 2000. So a 23-year-old Hot Wheels car. I really like that design. And another one that I picked up that was from 99 was this one. This Chevy, what was it? The 1998 Chevy Pro Stock S10. And it's a drag truck. And I really like the way that it looks. I like the way that it performs. And so this seemed like a pretty good year. This 2000, 1999. Those are, unless I just happened to stumble across two really good looking cars, these are the cars from those years were impressive. Now this, not as impressive, but you know, this Acura Integra GSR. We had the Mazda. Still didn't figure out how to pronounce this. It's REPU. So Repu. I don't know if it's a long E or short E. Repu. Either way, this pickup truck, pretty basic. Didn't do anything. Didn't do anything of note on the track. It made it down though, so that's always a plus. We had this Barracuda. There's a lot going on here. I think these wheels, if instead of being gold, they were silver, I think I might kind of be feeling the overall look of this car a little bit more, but they put some effort into it. We had the Datsun Bluebird, this Honda Prelude, which for some reason has a black hood, just out of the blue, and some white wheels and a red interior. I don't know. I think I picked it up, so I'm the one who bought it, so I bought it, but I think I would prefer this in some other color and design. And that's one of the good things about Hot Wheels is if you don't like the look of a car, but you like the style and the body shape, inevitably they are going to put out another version of that same car, recolored with different color schemes, different decals, etc. Now this one made a statement on the track, and this Ford GT, this is the race edition, a 2016 Ford GT race edition. And I mean, it had all of the things that I tell the kids to look out for that real supercars have to try and control the way that the car interacts with the air, trying to reduce drag and streamline the cars and control the way the air passes over, under, and around the cars. So it had little open spaces where that real car does have open spaces to control the flow. It has this kind of, you can almost see the teardrop design, but typically the Hot Wheels cars follow the body design, but they don't often necessarily have the same openings that the actual cars have. But this one had it all. It had canards and splitters and diffusers and a huge wing, and just it's one of the cars that I hope and I think that students will probably pick, because as we go through, by the time we get to the end of the science lessons, they have a whole list of things that they should be looking out for when they're trying to determine which car they think would be faster than another car. And one of the last lessons before they pick a car goes over all of the little additional things that designers and engineers add to the car to try and minimize drag and increase the overall speed. So we had that, but that car did well. And then we had the Ariel car, which it's another character car from The Little Mermaid, of course. And it's got these sort of swooping curves. And the thing I wasn't certain about was the back. I guess it would be, if you're talking about the mermaid, this would be the tip of the mermaid's tail. And you can't really see it in this angle, but the problem is that there's a launching block, and I think I have a car here. Pull this up. Let's see. So there's a launching block. Okay, oh, well, shouldn't use a green car with green screen. Let me put it over here to make my point. Okay, let's switch over to this view. And I still need to get a proper pointer of some kind. But anyway, there is a launching block that sits behind the cars and pushes them out. And it's flat. So it's just a block. And so the cars, when I'm doing the races, what you'll see is that I'm usually trying to make sure that the cars are pressed right up against the back of the launching block so that it can just push the cars out. And sometimes I'll say, well, they have to be against it, because if they're not against it, the launching block will punch the car instead of pushing the car. And what I mean is that if there's a gap, then that launching block is going to hit the car and punch it up in the air, typically. If it's pressed against it, it's going to push the car. And that's a huge difference. So on this Little Mermaid car, the problem is these two tails or fins or whatever they are, the launching block is only touching the tips of these two parts. So that's all it has to push against. Whereas if these two weren't there and it was just pressed up against the back of the car, I think this car would do a lot better. But because it's only got these two points to push on, it pushes it out, but then the car leaves at kind of a weird angle. It doesn't get a good push. And by a good push, I mean it rolls out of the launching blocks and the starting gate. Instead, it does some weird things. It kind of gets pushed up in the air. It's not really getting, it kind of has a chance to turn sideways a little bit. And when it turns sideways, it hits the side and it starts a whole downward spiral of leading to defeat, basically. So that is not the car. And actually, I'll show you the back, because if I turn it like this, you see that the back is pretty flat. So again, if it didn't have this piece, then the launching block could press right up against the back and just push it. So there's a couple of things. One, this is a character car, so those tend to be more expensive, where the standard mainline, just basic Hot Wheels cars are usually about $1, anywhere between $1. They've kind of moved up, $1.35 up to $1.50. The character cars can be $5, $6, $7 on up. And if I can find another one, because I'm not sure, I pulled this out of the crate. If I can find another one, what I might do, just for the sake of science and the experiment, is I might actually just cut this fin off, cut the tip of this fin off, and then see how the car does with the back part pressing up against the starting block and then just pushing out. So that might be a better option, because right now that fin is really, I think, inhibiting the car's potential. So we had that one, which is the Little Mermaid car. And again, all of the cars that are currently in the garage, in the fleet, are listed, and you can pick those. So usually right after an episode, if you see a car that you like, you can pick it, and all you have to do is go to atthetrack.live, go down to choose the car. That will bring you to this page. Once you are on this page, all you have to do is find the number of the car that you want to see race, the car that I've pulled out, and put that number into the chat, and I will pull that car, and we'll see how it does. And yeah, I think the Little Mermaid car was the last one, but it was not the car that won the last episode. The car that won in the last episode is this one. And the jury is still out on how to pronounce this. It is the Chevrolet. So they took the word Chevrolet, and then they put OR on the end. Well, when you pronounce Chevrolet, you don't pronounce the T. So when they put the OR, does that make it the Chevroletter? Or is it the Chevrolet or? Chevrolet? I'm not sure. All what I am sure of is that this car was faster than the others. And a lot like that X-Steam car, it doesn't have anything sticking up. So I thought, again, that would help because the drag should be reduced, and it was pretty flat, and I thought it's almost basically got kind of a wedge shape, and I thought it should be fast. But I thought the same thing with the X-Steam car, and for whatever reason, that car didn't perform very well. But the Chevrolet performed much better and defeated the Ariel car and that Ford GT, and in some pretty good races. So that was the champion from the last episode. All right, coming back here. One of the things that we've done in the previous episodes is some of the cars have not made it down the track. They've crashed, they've just underperformed, but usually it's a crash. If there's a crash, then I'll go back and take slow motion video, because most of the cars should be able to make it down the track. Whether or not they're fast or not is a whole other matter, but they should be able to just make it down the track. That's just basic. Anytime they crash multiple times, there's a reason why they're crashing, but because the launcher uses so much force, it's hard to tell necessarily why they're crashing. So what I'll do is go back and take slow motion video and then kind of analyze why the crash happened, and then we'll take a look at it in the next episode. Fortunately, in the last episode, didn't have any crashes. So what that means is we can get right to cracking open a new group of Hot Wheels cars and taking them to the track. So once again, just a reminder, if you want to select a car, all you have to do is go to atthetrack.live, and you will have an opportunity to choose a car. When you choose a car, it'll take you to that other web page. Scroll down, find the car you want, put the number into the chat, and then I'll find the car, pull it out, and we'll race it against one of these cars that I am about to open. So I mentioned in the last episode that when I go to a store and I see a Hot Wheels car, because they're only usually about $1.50 at the most. If I see a car that I like, I just pick it up, and sometimes because I have so many, especially so many that I haven't cataloged yet, I'll get duplicates. And it's not that I'm intending to get a duplicate, but sometimes that's just what happens. So if I find out that I have a duplicate, I try not to include those in, because the color, a difference in color isn't going to change the performance, and it's no point. Now there are a few duplicates. If you go through that page and look at all of the cars, you will see some duplicates, and that was before I kind of put in hard rule about no duplicates. But it still doesn't stop me from buying a car that I like. So I have some versions of the cars that are currently listed, and then a few months later, a new version of that car, or a different colored version of that car, comes out that I like better. So I'll buy it, and then if I don't just swap them out, which I tend not to do, I'll just hang on to it and just hang on to it. Now I'm like one of those collectors who just keeps the cars in the package, but typically I like to open mine. But one of the cars that I have been guilty of buying, like knowingly buying duplicates of, is the Ford GT, the GT40. The Ford GT that was in the race the other day, this one, the 2016 version, put that there. So this version, this was the race version, and it's got some extras attached to the body. But the one that I end up buying more, there we go, get some light on there, so now we can take a look at it. The one I end up buying more frequently is this version, which is this one, this Ford GT. And so this is the kind of original paint scheme, and I like this one. It's got the orange wheels, and this version is in that list. If you go to choose a car and you scroll through, you will find this is the version of the Ford GT that you will find. But I've also got this version of the Ford GT, this white Gumball 3000 Rally Car Edition, and just like the style of that. So I've got it in this Gulf blue livery, and then this white Gumball 3000 version. But then there's also a black version of the same car, Gumball 3000 Ford GT40. It's got the gold wheels. I like this one. It's got a black, white, and gold appearance, and really like that. So I've got 3 of these, and who knows, because all 3 of these were in the same crate that I pulled out. So as I go through other crates, who knows how many of these I have, but I've seen others. These aren't the only ones that they've made like this. So because I already have those, I'm not going to crack these open and add them to the list, because what's the point? So anytime I find duplicates, they either, if I really like them, for example, like this black one, black and gold version, I'll probably set that aside. For all the other duplicates, I put those in a bin, and they are set aside as prize cars, and those are cars that the students can win for either good citizenship or answering questions, or just as giveaways, depending on what the event is and what we're doing. But all the cards aren't duplicates. I do have some, I pulled out some, well, here's another example. More duplicates in the same crate, just sitting there. I had two of these, going this way. Two of these Toyota Tundras, and they're both from the 2020 Olympics, and which, is that the Olympics? That was like the COVID Olympics. So yeah, they're just two trucks, and I haven't decided. One of these is going to get cracked open and added to the fleet, but I haven't decided yet which one that I like more. There is one that's, they both have the same tires. There's one with white with gold accents, and then the other is that kind of deep maroon, reddish, with the gold accents. So as soon as I decide which of these two is going to be opened up, then that one will be added to the fleet, to the garage, and the other will end up in the prize bin. And I've noticed that I do have a lot of trucks, so I think there's going to be an episode soon coming up where it's just going to be an all truck edition of At the Track Live. So there's that. But okay, enough about the cards that are duplicates. Enough about that. Let's see. It's time to pull out a card to crack open. And here's what we have here. We have Aston Martin 177. Now, Aston Martin 177. It's a little strange. They spelled out, this side. They spelled out 1, but then the 77 is numerals. So that's odd. But hey, here we go. Good looking car, racing stripe and all. So let's take this out. Crack this one open. Let me move that out of the way. See what we got. Okay, Aston Martin. Not a bad looking car. Not a bad looking car at all. All right, let's get it over here. And let's take a look. Take a closer look. The Aston Martin, what did I call it? 177. 177. So let me get it lined up, because the first thing I've got to do is take a picture. Try to get this kind of 3/4 view so that the students, if they're taking, especially if they're taking the online version of All About Aerodynamics, they can get a good look at the car and have an idea of the shape and the style. Let me lock in the focus here. Lock in the focus, take that picture. Boom. All right, got that. And then the other thing that we have to do is take a video. And so let me lock in the focus again. Usually like to get it started from there. It's just a good looking car. I like those decals on the headlights. It gives it a more of a 3D look. So the first thing is just leaving a little message and a reminder for people in the chat. Car. And then next thing I need to do is enter this car into the spreadsheet. So this will end up being car number 469. And this is, again, the Aston Martin 1-77. And I'll have to take a look and see the year that that car was created. Let's see, you've got the view right there. I like that racing stripe too. This is just a good looking car. It's got the little plastic grill in the front, and by all accounts, just kind of taking it in, it seems like it should be a fast car. Just taking a look, I have a feeling that this is going to be a fast car. But there's only one way to find out. And the way to find out is to take it to the track. And so that's what will eventually happen. Let me just check the year on this one. This is 2011. So put that into the spreadsheet. And I keep all of this information in the spreadsheet, but when the students are, after they've selected the car, they have to collect all kinds of information about the cars and also enter it into the spreadsheets. And when we do the analysis after there have been a lot of races, then we can go back through and see if there are any trends. Maybe all the cars from 2011 are really fast. Maybe it had something to do with the axles that are on cars from a particular line, or from a particular year, or from a particular era. Maybe that has something to do with it. So there's all kinds of things and data and information that we want to collect so that we can kind of make a determination about which cars are faster than others. So, but we've added that one. Let's see. Also, time to add. What will we add? What else will we add? How about we just go hypercar, supercar. We've got the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. All right. And this one, I think I mentioned in the last episode why, with All About Aerodynamics, with At the Track Live, you are going to see a lot of orange and blue in the color scheme. It's because Hot Wheels tracks are orange and the little connecting pieces are blue, but also because my college, Syracuse University, our colors are orange and blue. So everything kind of ties in. So when I find Hot Wheels cars that have an orange and blue paint scheme, then I'm almost always going to pick those up. I usually pick up the Lamborghinis anyway, because students definitely gravitate towards these cars. It just is what it is. And it's not a bad choice, because aerodynamics factor very heavily into the design of most hypercars and supercars, but especially the high-end, the Lamborghinis, the Paganis, the Bugattis, etc. But right here, we've got this Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, and it's time to crack it open. Okay, here we go. And again, it's blue with the little orange elements. Let me get it on the turntable over here. Switch to this close-up view, get a better look at it. Focus is locked in like that. As it comes around, let me line it up a little better. Get the lights right under there and record that, and then enter this in. This will be car number 470, This again is the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. Let's see here. All right, so that looks good. I think they perhaps could have put a little more detail into the paint. It almost looks like an afterthought. There's just no I don't. It just looks like they dipped it in blue paint, started to put a few orange elements on it, and then, especially in the back, above the rear wheel, as the light hits it, you can see that there's some different shapes to the body, but I think some maybe a darker color paint or something would have helped create some depth and some texture. It just looks like it got dropped in a bottle of baby blue paint, but hey, it is still a Lamborghini, and I would take a Lamborghini dipped in baby blue paint any day of the week. Let me set it up here, take the picture, and switch over to the photos. Zoom in a bit. Nope, don't need to come in that far. Come in about 1.4% on the zoom. Lock in this focus. It's a good looking car. It's a Lamborghini. And take the picture. Bang. So it is all prepared to be entered. Hang on, let me get a little. I'm just adjusting the light a little bit. See if I can get a better shot. And let me turn it just a bit. Too much. There. I think it's right back to where I started. Let me lock in this focus. And take the picture. Got it. All right. Looks good. So there we have the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. All right. Next up, what do we got? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take this one. The 99 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. So, it's kind of a lowered, it looks lowered. Sporty little truck, gold paint job, and pickup. I think of the pickups that we've looked at so far, which only includes really the Mazda Repu. I think this one is going to be faster than that one. I actually think this one will probably do pretty well. So let's crack it open, take another closer look. All right, let's get it over here. Lamborghini's out. This one is on and in. All right, let's take a look at this one. We have this Ford people, sorry. The 99 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. This truck, and turn it a little bit so I can get a better picture. Yeah, it's not a bad looking truck. Get a little bit of, lock this focus in. A little bit more light on it. There. And snap the picture. Got that. And now turn on the turntable. And set it up to take this video. Again, lock in the focus. I haven't determined if I'm going to be using, if I'm going to keep using the videos on the Instagram page, because before At the Track Live, what I was doing is posting the videos of individual cars every day, and then you could look at those cars and then make a suggestion about which car you wanted us to race. And so it worked, but it really wasn't as efficient as this, because now it can just happen directly. If there's a car that you see that you want to race, you can just go onto the website, pick the car live. I can pull the car live and we can race it live. So you don't have to wait. With the Instagram version, then you would pick a car, but then you'd have to wait until I picked it and set up the track and race the cars, and then recorded it. Then I'd have to go back and edit and do a whole bunch of things, and it would take a while before you would get to see the results of the race. With At the Track Live, you can pick the car, we can race the car, and you can know immediately whether or not the car that you picked was faster than the car that I just cracked open. Lightning. This is the 99 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. So, to that, along those same lines, if you see a car that you think is going to be faster on the track than this Ford 99 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning, then all you have to do is put the number, go to the website, put the number for that car into the chat, and then I'll pull it up, and then we'll race and see which car is faster. I am curious about the wheels, because I know some of the trucks have ridges to simulate kind of off-road, but this isn't an off-road truck. This is clearly like a custom lowered sporty truck. So I think this one will do well. Let me check the year on this one. 2020. Okay, so far we have the Aston Martin, we have the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, and we also have the Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. Now, there are also a lot of weird cars that Hot Wheels makes, cars that are unlike any actual car that you would ever see. So that SVT Lightning, I'm certain those are actual, that's an actual car. That Aston Martin, that Lamborghini, all of those are actual cars. Now the Ford pickup truck, you're probably more likely to see that driving around than you are the Lamborghini or the Aston Martin. Although it just depends where you live. You might live in a place that has plenty of those around. Here in LA, you could go up to Beverly Hills and a few other places and probably see at least a couple of Lamborghinis. So Hot Wheels also designs cars that, again, are not like any cars that you would just see on the street, and this is one of them. This is from this dinosaur series, and this is the Triceratruck, and it is based on if a Triceratops were a Hot Wheels car, then I guess this is what they imagined it would look like. Or, yeah, Triceratops? Yeah, try 3. So yeah, let's crack this open and take a look at this. Here it is. It's definitely got a strange kind of feel to it, but let me get it on the turntable. That moved that way. And remove this, and let's take a look. Alright, so what do we got here? We have the Triceratops, or Triceratruck rather. And let me lock in the focus and start to get that video. Put this in here. This is going to be truck number 4, car number 472. The Tricera-truck. Triceratruck. Got that. And it's got, on one hand, the back half almost looks like a VW Beetle. But then the front is, oh, it's even got a little a little tail. The tailpipe slash tail of the dinosaur. But if you look at that back half, it definitely looks like a, you know, you could see that being a Volkswagen Beetle. But that front part is definitely monster dinosaur territory, especially that hood in the middle part. I don't think any of that is going to help this car aerodynamically. I think that little point in the background is going to cause the car to get pushed around, and I don't think it's going to work out. Also, another problem, well, let me stop the video and switch to the picture, is this car, because of that little point at the back, it's probably going to get pushed out and crash if we put it in forward. If that happens, some of the cars I can put in backwards, and they actually perform better when they're in backwards than they do going forward. So since there's more of a flat surface for the launching block to press against in the front, I might try that instead. And that might make this car, help it stay on the track. The other problem I see is that this car is really tall. And I think that because of this part here, it's so tall that it's not going to be able to take advantage of the acrylic ceiling that I've created to keep the cars on the track when they try to launch into the air. And so what is probably going to happen is that car will have to launch kind of like the 2020 Gladiator. It's going to have to launch with nothing above it, and that's probably going to end up with this truck flying off the track. But I can't be certain until we actually race it. So it's, again, the whole point of the experiment, and that's the key thing. And science, of course, is you can have your ideas, you can have your hypothesis, but you've got to put it to the test. And the way you do that is to conduct an experiment. And for us, the experiment is actually taking it to the track and seeing how it performs. Let me get this turned just a little here. And it's probably about as good a look I'm going to get with this monstrosity. Turn it a little bit this way. That's good. All right. That's good. All right. So we have the Triceratruck. I have no idea how it's going to perform, but it will be interesting to find out. Let me just double check the year on this one. 2018. Okay, good. So we've got that. Up next is a car that was put out on a spring lineup, and this is the so this one only going to be able to look at it over there because with the green screen, a car that is green will become see-through, as you can see here. So it's interesting. But this is a lime green 1970 Dodge Hemi Challenger. So, crack this one open. And put it on the turntable. And let's take a look. Okay, so this one I had to check because I was afraid that I already had one of these, because especially the cars that they put out for holidays or seasonal cars. So especially like around Halloween, you see Halloween themed cars. This is a spring Easter car, and Christmas, winter, you also see them then. There was that whole Olympics series. But usually what all they'll do is just repaint the car so that it matches whatever the theme is for whether it's a season or a holiday, what have you. So I had to double check to make sure that I didn't already have one of these cars. And I have, so this is a 1970 Dodge Challenger. I have a 71 Dodge Challenger. So, since this isn't a duplicate, it gets to stay in the fleet, and we will have to see whether or not it is actually fast. Let me get some more light on it right there. Okay, and I'll go ahead and take this, lock in the focus right there, and take this picture. Got it. Okay. And let's fire up the turntable. All right, here we go. Always, just to be consistent, try to keep them going counterclockwise. Lock this focus in here, and ready to start this video. And remember, once again, you can go to atthetrack.live and you can select choose a car, and it will take you to our page that has all of our cars listed and numbered. Find the car that you think would be faster than this 70 Dodge Hemi Challenger, and it will go to the track, and we'll see if you're correct or if this lime green car has what it takes to be the champion of today's episode. Let me go with 70 Dodge Hemi Challenger, and I didn't check the year on that, but this is a good looking car. Although I think much like the Barracuda from the last episode, I think that this car seems to be narrow. And if the car is narrow and it can stay straight, that's fine. But if it's narrow and it just gets off slightly and it hits one of the sides of the track, it is going to bounce back to the other side of the track, as all cars will. But I've noticed that the more narrow the car is, the more likely it is to start bouncing back and forth quickly, and that is going to detract from its overall speed, and it is going to cause it to lose the race. But that is again, it's why we have to race the cars, because I don't know. I have these ideas just based on all the races that I've watched and participated in. I have these ideas, but sometimes most of the times, a car is going to surprise me when we actually get it to the track. So let's get some light on this one. Switch over to the photo. Is it ready? Let's zoom in. Right there. Nice. Put this here. Okay, got that locked in. Boom. Nice. Okay. So now there is, let's see, we have the Aston Martin, we have the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, we have the Ford F-150 Lightning, SVT Lightning, we have the Tricera truck, and now we have this spring, this lime green, purple, and blue Dodge Hemi Challenger. So got those in there. Let me just take a look. The year on this one, 2006. Okay. Got this one, 2006. Got that one. All right, up to 474. Or that was number 473. So yeah, up next. So just let me, I've mentioned it, but I will tell you again, because we're one car away from going to the track. And once we've gone to the track, I'm not pulling out any other cars. So you have to get your request in for the car you want to see race before we go to the track. And so you've still got time. All you have to do is go to atthetrack.live, select choose a car, and you will be taken to this page. On this page, you can scroll down. All of the cars are listed. You can click on the car to get a better view of the car, which is why I'm taking the pictures here. And all you need to do is, if you found a car that you want, perhaps you want to see the Turbo Rooster take on the Tricera truck in a battle of the animals, all you'd have to do is put number 30 into the chat, and then I will pull that car out and we will set up the race. If you want to see this Mountain Dew racing stalker, if you want to see that, this is the old school. This is the one I had when I was a kid. This Mountain Dew Racing Stalker Gold Hot Ones Edition. You can tell that's metal. That's when these cars were made from metal. There's some plastic in there, like the wheels and the interior, the windshield, but this is a heavy car. You can just look at it and it just looks heavy. But if that's the car you want to see race, then hey, all you have to do is just put the car's number into the chat and we will set it up. Now, I mentioned earlier, I was talking about the duplicates and how I had duplicate Ford GT 40s. And then I had duplicates of, was it a Tacoma? What truck was that? It was the Tundra. The two Tundras. I had the white one and then I had the maroon one. Well, I was at the grocery store the other day and I wanted to check out the Hot Wheels, see if there was anything new. Because there's one that I'm actually looking for that's new that I haven't seen. I've seen it online, people have it, but I haven't seen it in my stores. So I was like, yeah, let me go look and see if there's anything new. And I went to go look, and there wasn't anything new, nothing that I didn't already have or want. But they did have some character cars, which you saw the Ariel car, the Black Panther car is a character car. It's a different type of character car. But usually the character cars are the designers interpretation of that character. And usually it's a character from a movie or cartoon, something like that. Well, I saw, now I've got them mixed up. I saw two cars. And Disney has a line now, the Disney 100. I presume it's Disney's 100th anniversary, or maybe it was last year. Who knows? Or maybe it's coming up. I don't know. But you'll see these character cars, and it'll say Disney 100, and this particular version, there's an Iron Man car, there's a Spider-Man car, there's apparently a Black Panther car, Captain Marvel car, and I saw some for Toy Story. I've seen them for Finding Nemo. Just a range of cars that are in this packaging, the Disney 100 packaging. So I saw this Iron Man car, and I knew that I had an Iron Man car already, but I couldn't remember exactly what it looked like. I remember it had kind of like the Iron Man face mask logo, or the face mask incorporated to the front, but I couldn't remember if it was this exact car. So I was thinking, well, this is a Disney 100, and I know for a fact that even if I have an Iron Man car, it's not this car, because this is a Disney 100 car. This is like a new version of a new interpretation of the Iron Man car. So I couldn't possibly have this one. So the reason why that mattered is because they also had another version of the Iron Man car that was a little different. The packaging was different. It didn't say Disney 100. It just said Marvel Iron Man and had the car. And so I had two to pick from, because, again, the character cars cost more than the regular cars. So a regular car, I'll just pick it up. Like, maybe I have it, maybe I don't. It's only $1.50. I'll pick it up. With the character cars, they're like $5, $6. And it's not a lot of money necessarily, but for a car that I may already have at home, it is. So I had to pick. Did I have the Disney 100 version? Was I going to get that one, or was I going to get the other Marvel car? So I figured that since I knew I had an Iron Man car at home, it probably, and I knew that I didn't have this one, that since I had an Iron Man car at home, it was probably the other one. So I left the other one, and obviously I bought this one. So I bought this one, got home, and I was like, you know what? Let me find that other Iron Man car, because I knew I hadn't opened it yet. So I go looking around, and I find it, the Iron Man car. And this is the packaging. And you see, it just says Marvel, and so the other car that was at the grocery store, also, the packaging was just like this. So I was like, yes, I was right. I didn't have the Disney 100 version. I had the regular version. I had this version. And then the problem was that when I compared the two, it is the exact same car. Exactly the same. Just in a different package. And there's nothing, this is the exact same car, from the little gray and silver streaks that outline the rear wheel to there's some little accents on the back part there that kind of replicate Iron Man's armor and all of that. It is, again, the exact same car. Same headlights, same front, everything. The only thing they changed was the packaging. So I ended up with two of the exact same cars. So then I should have left it alone, but I didn't. I decided, you know what? I'm going to go back and get that other car, because it was obviously different. And so I went back and I picked it up, and this is it here. So you can see that it's slightly different than the others, and I will have to decide. And and the other thing that's different about it is in the front it's got the little blue thing like our Iron Man has in the center of his chest. So anyway, here's what's going to happen. Since these two cars, let me see, now I've got them mixed up. Since these two cars are exactly the same and this one's different, we're going to have a head-to-head Iron Man matchup. And what's going to happen is I'm not going to put all of these cars into the garage, into the database, into the fleet. No. They're going to have to earn their way in. And so since these two are the same, I'm only going to open one. So I'll open this one that has the that packaging. Let me make sure these are still, yeah, they're the same, exact same car. So I'm going to open the one that's exactly the same as the Disney 100 version, and then I'm going to open the other one that's different, and we're going to see which Iron Man car is going to be the Iron Man car. So I'm not going to enter it into the database, but I will crack these open so we can take a closer look before we head to the track. Okay, so here is, this is Iron Man car number 1. This is the one that is the duplicate of the Disney 100 version, or the Disney 100 is a duplicate of this one. So let's take a look at this, and you can see, you can definitely know which character this is modeled after, and the little decals on the headlights, more so that gold canopy in the front that mimics the mask, and the car seems like it should be fast. I don't see anything that's obvious to me that would create any additional drag to slow it down or prevent it from making it down the track. You got the colored, the blue vents at the back, some little pinstriping. I couldn't believe this was exactly the same as the Disney 100 car, but it's how it goes. It's how it goes. Okay, so that's that one. So then we have the other one. Let me crack that one open. And I'm wondering also, once I picked, well, I was wondering, hang on. Okay, then we have the other version. So let's take a look at that. And this one is, let me see, so this one is red on the bottom. We got the red bottom Iron Man. Then we have this one that's gold on the bottom. Let's get this lined up here. And take a look. So this one, you can see the blue little jewel in the center is definitely much more prominent. I mean, prominent. It's there. The other one doesn't have that at all. Actually, I see it does. It just has it in a different place. The other one has it up there on the top. But this one, obviously same Iron Man color scheme, and the wheels are different. I think it's got larger wheels at the front. like those kind of translucent blue rocket boosters at the back, as opposed to the other one that kind of mimics Iron Man's actual costume. And yeah, this is a good looking car. I think between the two, I think I prefer this one. But it will be interesting to see which one is actually performs better. So, all right, there we have it. So now it is time to go to the track and see what is going to happen with these cars. Let me just grab a little tray here. Drop the cars into. Okay, so we have an Aston Martin. We have the Aston Martin 177. We have the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. Got that. Let's see. We've got the Ford Lightning SVT, Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. We've got the Tricera truck, that dinosaur-inspired truck. We've got the, what is this? The that Easter, that 70 Dodge Hemi Challenger. And then we've got the double Iron Man car. So going double Iron Man on this one. And we're going to see how this actually plays out on the track, because that's what has to happen. So, let's see. There's a light I've got to adjust. And then can also, let's see. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So, you know what? We're going to take a little break and then come back at the track. It's not going to be 5 minutes. It's just going to take a few minutes. So get yourself a drink, get ready, because we're going to race these cars and find out who's the Iron Man, which Iron Man is going to make it. Oh, here's another thing. Before we go to the track, let me just remind you that this is the view that you are going to see of the track. This is what it looks like. And it's important to note that on the top left, the left screen is the first third of the track, and the cars will begin up at the top of the screen, and then they will launch out, and they will basically be coming toward the bottom of the screen or coming towards you. Then you'll see them in screen number 2, which is in the middle, and that is the middle section of the track. And then importantly is the third camera view, which is the finish line. And with the finish line, the important thing to note is that our finish line has 2 lasers that detect which car crosses first. The car that crosses first will be indicated by a solid red light. A solid red light for the car that crosses first. The car that loses, there will be a flashing red light. So solid red light is the winner. Flashing red light is the loser. So that is one of the things that is important to note. So I'm going to adjust this light. It's going to say bathroom break. Just going to take a moment. I'm going to adjust the light by the track, and then come back, and then we're going to get these races going. So let's see what happens.
dos, tres. Flash. Flash.
Okay, so we are back, and that was a marathon session. Sometimes the cars just do not want to stay put on the track, and there's really not a lot that I can do about that other than uh, continue to race the cars. So, what I will point out is this is today's winning car, the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. And like I said, the conventional wisdom and standard thinking is that the Lamborghini, based on the aerodynamics, based on past results, was going to be the car to take this little mini tournament today. And it did. But the real question, the real battle that I had was which Iron Man car was going to be the one to get to stay as a permanent fixture and permanent part of the All About Aerodynamics garage. And it turns out it was this version, this Iron Man version. And this one is the one that I liked better because up close, the paint is, there's actual metal. Lock this focus in. All of this around here, all of this is metal. And then there's plastic here, but the bulk of the body is metal. There's metal there, and then this little jewel in the front. There's just more details on this car that I happen to like. Coming around the side, it has the gold accents right here. The fender's right there. That's a good look. It's got some more gold accents here. The translucent blue panel right in the middle, and then these blue rocket boosters in the back. It's a good looking car. And then they even have there's a little gold panel underneath right there, underneath the rocket boosters. The bottom is gold. I like that. With the other Iron Man car, which is this one, there's a lot of plastic, which, you know, it's just how things are. There's a lot of plastic. So all of this is plastic. All of that is plastic. Everything that wraps around. This is metal. And then this back part is plastic again. And plastic's not bad. It's just that on this particular car, I don't think it gives the look. And like the headlights, I see what they were trying to do. I just don't, if this car was the only one that existed and I hadn't seen the other one, then I'd probably think that this car was okay. But the problem is that I've seen the other Iron Man car, and they're just not, like, we'll take a look at the back of those cars. And again, the one on the right, I see what they were trying to do. I see the theme. But I just think it all came together much better on the other car, on the one on the left. I like those open wheels. Definitely like that, with the 5-spoke open wheels, and just the details. And the metal makes a difference in the paint. I like that. So definitely this is the Iron Man, what did we call it? The arc reactor Iron Man is the one that is going to get to stay in the rotation, and the other Iron Man car will become a prize car. So if you were hoping to pick a car to race against Iron Man, you missed your opportunity. Well, if you wanted to race against the other Iron Man, the one that's getting sent away. You missed your opportunity for that, but you did not miss your opportunity to race against the arc reactor Ironman. And why didn't you miss your opportunity? Because, as I've been saying all along, if you want to participate, all you have to do is go to atthetrack.live. And once you get to atthetrack.live, you will have two options. Well, two options you can ignore, because if you're here, you're already here. So there's the Twitch link, the YouTube link, but then under that, there is a link that says choose a car. You can select that. It will take you to this page. You go to this page, you scroll down, you look through the cars that we have, you find a car that you like, you say, oh, I like this Extremester. You check it out, you look at the picture, say, yeah, that's the car, and then you simply put in that number, and once you put in that number, then I will pull that car, and I will race it against one of the cars that I just cracked open. So if you pick the Extremester today, it would be racing against one of these cars, against either the Arc Reactor Ironman, the Lamborghini, the truck, the Tricera truck, the Challenger, or the Aston Martin. So that is how easy it is to participate in At the Track Live. So you can also go to atthetrack.live, and there's a calendar, and that will tell you the next time that we are going to be going live, having more races, doing more reviews, cracking open more cars, and just having fun at the track. So thank you for watching. You can like, subscribe, do all that. Click the little bell, and then you can be notified when we're going live. And if you missed any of the past episodes, any of the past races, they are on YouTube, listed on Twitch. The videos only stay available for about a week, but you can always go to YouTube, catch up, and follow us on Instagram at AA Aerodynamics. And I think that's just about it. Had a good series of races, a lot of crashes, a lot more crashes than we've had previously, but in the end, we got a champion. So I am Coach James for All About Aerodynamics at the Track Live. I will see you at the races.